All right, guys. Welcome to the Get Bit Podcast, a podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm your host, the most Black Spartan, aka Willie B, and of course, the man to my left, your right, who has. Wow, I just read what you put down there. Go ahead, Joe.
I come up with something new for you every week. I do my best. I am Joe Tanell, and I am very full of dumplings.
Oh wow! Together we
Look,
are the
that's the restaurant's fault. They started the all-you-can-eat meal with our largest amount ever eaten was 40 dumplings at 5 plates. You're an Asian Pacific Islander group. One of us is going to take that challenge, and I beat it by 10. In the words of Mulan, I brought honor to us all.
I almost said you said death before dishonor, huh?
Someone bring me my cricket.
God. Together we are the Give It Podcast. Much like the WWE old guys, language is not that bad. We consider ourselves TV-14, so some choice words may fly. At the same time, there may be things that might be shown that might be too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, first and foremost, Happy New Year. Which, again, I know I would be the elephant in the room if we didn't mention that, well, 2024 is starting off to a really smashing time, especially with the bingo card. Pretty much, we don't really need to go into it. If you haven't seen Cat Williams and that whole mess, well, that's a lot. I'll just leave it at that. But we're going to go on.
I have not seen it. What's going on there?
Long story short, Cat Williams decided to go on the Shannon Sharp's podcast and air out he got some things off his chest about fellow comedians. And it's about
who's he say stealing from him?
Side of it. So what?
Is this like the Epstein list of who's stealing from him?
Close. I would say close. He tried to sit there and say he claims that there were some movie roles that he was supposed to get, that it went to someone else. He didn't play the game, but he said these other comedians did. It's a whole mess. But like I said, if you want to watch it, it's on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast. Feel free, because that is the talk of the town at the moment, because Jeffrey Epstein's list is public, but they're still waiting for bigger names to come out about that. But anyway, we're going to move on to some happier news, especially with the fact that we are going to be getting a new Disney series come next week, as in Marvel Studios Echo, and just yesterday they released another trailer for it. What were you gonna say, Joe?
So we have to preface this before we go into this trailer.
Okay.
So they keep telling everybody, you don't have to do your homework to go into this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they keep showing stuff that tells you may need to watch this first before you watch the show.
I mean, we've even said it here that you can watch Hawkeye, which is, again, a great series.
No, you have to watch Hawkeye to understand anything.
True, but we did suggest that because, number one, it's a great series, and number two, it'll give you some background. So, yes, we did sit there and say, yes, you should watch Hawkeye before you watch Echo, just because they're giving a lot of representation to this show, and it's rightfully so. But yes, some background is needed to actually watch it, because if you don't, you may get lost in the sauce.
Well, now because of this trailer, now they are canonizing Netflix Daredevil, meaning if you want to understand any of this backstory, now you got to go watch 3 episodes of Daredevil, or 3 seasons of Daredevil to understand what's going on, which, by the way, you most definitely should. That series is amazing, even though the 3rd season is a little weird, but season 1 and 2 most definitely.
Could we give a Cliff Notes version of that? Because some people's attention spans are not what they used to be.
Okay, the Cliff versions are pretty much Daredevil fights Kingpin. Kingpin looks at a wall and talks about Vanessa.
Oh, you at least have to watch the monologues. When I was a boy, you at least got to watch the monologues for that. But anyway, here's the trailer for Marvel Studios Echo, and that's the wrong one. There we go.
When I was a boy, I had to choose a path, or fate would choose for me. I've hurt people, and I'm going to hurt more. I'm asking forgiveness for what I'm about to do. Savages. Gang wars. The city. Crumbles. Maya. We are the only ones we can trust. Betrayal. That's not something that I can forgive. Nothing about this brings me joy. You brought this on yourself. It hurts me. But I have to kill you. Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th.
So as you can see, guys, again, January 9th being next week, we will get the 5-episode series of Marvel's Echo. Now, you did see Kingpin, of course, prominently in this. We do see shades of Daredevil in this as well. Can we honestly say, Joe, because we talked about this a lot, this is going to be Disney's first time actually going this dark.
I'm wondering if you can see it fully on Hulu and there's some edited version or possibly black and white versions on Disney. I don't know if Disney's going to allow this on their platform. I'm wondering if, like, the more violent scenes will become black and white, but you can see the fully colored versions on Hulu.
I would think so to a certain point, or they'll give a parental warning, I guess, about the show before it comes on. But do you think, and I'm going to pose this question to you because this is what I think. I think that this is, because it's a limited 5-episode run, this is Marvel's way of saying, okay, can we tell a not so super shiny, blue sky, all ends well hero tale? Can we actually tell a darker tale, and will the audience respond to it?
Well, they've done it before already. We've had Werewolf by Night.
That was, well, yes, but that was more along the lines of, like you said, it was like the violence itself was more black and white, so there kind of was a cover on it. So it didn't actually have the same it didn't have the same graphic detail. I mean, for the time that it was shot in, don't be wrong, Werewolf by Night was beautiful, but the black and white did kind of help block more of the graphic nature of it. Whereas now we're seeing it in Echo, it looks like they just sat there and said, okay, let's just take the Punisher and just go up a notch. Which, again, I'm not mad about. I want to see it.
I'm not either.
But we're definitely going to see that come January the 9th. Of course, me and Joe will give our impressions on it when that comes out. But speaking of things that are coming out, Monster Hunter's Wild has an update. Joe, do you want me to talk? You want to talk about it, or you just want me to play the video?
I think this is just a trailer from the director of Monster Hunter, giving hey, here's what to expect. Here's where we've been. Here's where we're going. It's a very brief trailer, which is why I nicked it real quick. Okay. It's not even 3 minutes long, but I always think it's worth watching because you never know what we'll get with Monster Hunter. They could drop like, oh, by the way, the pickle's back.
Wow.
Like, that's Monster Hunter lingo. For those of us that are hunters, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you unaware, it is a giant T-Rex looking creature called
Doom has entered the chat.
In full.
Well, we now have fame rapper MF Doom, so everything I just said is valid.
What's going on, Phil? I can only keep that on so long because I can't see.
I'm gonna see how long you're gonna keep that up, honestly. But yes,
that actually plays very well to the surprise comic I added into the list today.
Oh Lord,
because now I know that Victor has cats.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. But sir, Chris Fury for Blurred's Eye View, sir, how are you this evening?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm in the middle of revamping the office here, the home office as it were. So I said, let me throw the Doom mask on. It's been a while.
Nice. Well, you actually caught us right in the middle of a Monster Hunter Wilds update. Usually they're very nice to the fan base and giving out a lot of stuff at almost free prices. So I'm kind of curious to see what this update's going to be about.
明けましておめでとうございます。モンスターハンターシリーズプロデューサーの辻本です。ハンターの皆様、狩りを楽しんでいますでしょうか？本日は新年ということで、昨年のモンスターハンターシリーズの歩みを振り返りながらご挨拶させていただきたいと思っております。まずは昨年末、モンスターハンターワイルズを発表させていただき、世界中から多くの反響をいただいております。モンスターハンターファンの皆様、どうもありがとうございます。モンスターハンターワイルズは2025年の発売を目指し、スタッフ一同開発を進めております。次の情報は今年の夏頃を予定しておりますので、それまで少々お待ちください。モンスターハンターシリーズは今年の3月に20周年を迎えます。20周年を記念した企画の一つとして、歴代229体のモンスターから皆様の投票で1位を決めるモンスター総選挙を去年末に開催いたしました。投票に参加してくださった皆様、ありがとうございます。投票結果の発表は3月に公開予定です。1位から3位に輝いたモンスターたちのスペシャルイラストを3月の公開に向けて鋭意制作中です。1位に輝くのはどのモンスターなのか、今から発表がとても楽しみです。20周年公式サイトでは様々な企画の最新情報を更新していきますので、チェックいただければと思います。2023年モンスターハンターワールドは2300万本以上、モンスターハンターライズは1300万本以上の販売を達成し、9月にリリースしたモンスターハンターナウも1000万ダウンロードを突破しました。シリーズを通じてとても多くの皆様に遊んでいただいております。本当にありがとうございます。まだ遊んでない方もぜひ手に取ってプレイしていただければと思っています。今年もモンスターハンターシリーズの展開にご期待ください。それではまたお会いしましょう。
Okay, well, that's actually cool. I do like the fact that, again, with Monster Hunter, they actually do respect the fans, especially in the sense of giving them the vote, which I guess this is for the next top monster. For you Monster Hunter fans, there's a certain monster out there I'd never want to see again because I lost many nights in sleep over it. And I finally did beat that freaking thing. And if you know which one I'm talking about, it's a little gassy. I'm just leave it at that because I know there's going to be somebody out there that wants that particular monster out there. And I hated that thing. But anyway,
wait, now I'm confused. Which one are you talking about?
I'll show you after. I'll show you offline because there's two of them, but I had to look it up to get the right one. But I'll show you.
The one that everybody hates is just basil juice.
No, not him. Not him. I'll show you later. But Chris, since you jumped on, I do got to ask, sir, because we did before the Monster Hunter Wilds update, we did talk about Echo and the final trailer they did release as Echo will be showing next week. And I was posing the same question to Joe, and I'll pose the same question to you. Because it is a 5-episode series, do you believe that Marvel is finally experimenting with darker storytelling that doesn't always equal a happy ending?
That was always the goal. When it was announced that, you know, once they bought Fox and got that all the mutant franchises and everything back, people were worried about Deadpool. You know, and then they were worried about when they got the Netflix properties back. They were worried about that because those are R-rated pretty much. And I'm not concerned because they said, like, hey, it's like Netflix. You know, you got a kids section, that's where the kids go. If if it's stuff you want to check out, here, you got to put in your date, blah, blah, blah. We already know. You haven't watched any of these shows, you know what it is. But it's not a bad move. I think it's a good move for them. They have a lot of stuff under their belt anyway. I think it's just their way of saying, hey, it's not always the princesses and the princes and the genies and the lamps and all that other stuff. We got a lot of stuff. And it's time everybody take part in it. If you don't want your kids to watch it, don't let them watch it.
That's what Joe. But that's what Joe was bringing up. Joe was thinking that because it's Disney, they might actually might do what The Walking Dead does on public television now. They kind of edit out the gory scenes. Mm-hmm. So we're not sure if Disney will do that, or will they just give the whole warning like, "Hey, we're playing."
I think they're gonna. They played it safe when they did Werewolf by Night. Number one, the aesthetic for that was amazing. It was. The aesthetic for that was absolutely beautiful. So to play the black and white thing and everything else, and the splatters of blood, which you couldn't see because it was all black and white until the very end. Right. And then they re-released it in color. So it was like, this is we're going here. You know, it's not going to be. And since you brought up Walking Dead, I'll use Walking Dead as the prime example. When it got to the season of introducing Negan, and that happened to Glenn, we all know, for those who've read the books, this is how it went down. They started losing because I think it was too much. It was
also because they killed Glenn.
Yeah, because so it didn't kill their ratings, but they took a hit. So and then it was such a long story anyway, but it still took a hit. In this form, 5 episodes for a series, this gives a chance to not only introduce a character, telling the short form is just this quick story. It's not too much going on. It doesn't need to be 9-10 episodes. We're going to tell it's 5 episode series. I got an idea that it's not going to be the last time we see her. Of course, this is a journey. If the synopsis basically tells, hey, she's got to atone for some past things. We know who Echo is in the comics.
She hangs out with Moon Knight and Daredevil on a constant basis.
Yeah. So it's not a big thing, you know. This is good. This is good for them. Because see, now they're playing with the street level.
My proposal is that when they get violent on Disney Plus, is going to cut to black and white, but you'll be able to see everything fine because it's showing dually on Hulu and Disney Plus. So you'll be able to see the full colored unrated version on Hulu, but when it gets too intense, they'll cut to black and white combat.
Yeah, I mean, sort of like the trailer where they show with Wilson Fisk, you know, not so much blood, but just enough, you know, camera shots and angles and is everything. Like we all were there, episode 5 of that first season of Daredevil in the corridor. We were there for that.
Yeah,
and I was like,
the trailer shows the corridor, but it's in black and white.
Yeah, you know, so just for them split second, it's a good, and I like that idea. It's a good way to play with things because it works with the aesthetic of everything. This is Marvel Knights. This is what this is. This is Marvel Knights.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not complaining about that, but I love the fact that you brought up Glenn because that's kind of what we're going into next. Because even though Marvel never officially confirmed Stephen Yeun's casting, but we did find out that he is no longer involved in the Marvel's Thunderbolts because it was rumored that if he did continue, he will be playing the hero Sentry, but because of scheduling conflicts, we got to put that in quotation. Scheduling conflicts.
No, hero.
Very loosely.
Hero-ish. Isk. Like. Well, let me not say that. That'd be wrong. Hero-ish, like John Walker, but I was gonna leave that alone. John Walker is like
Frank Castle's a bigger hero.
But he actually said because of scheduling conflicts, since the strike was over, as far as the actors and writers are concerned, he just wouldn't be able to make it work. So with Stephen Yeun not being considered anymore, I just want to throw this to you guys because the Thunderbolts involving Sentry. Who do you think would make a replacement cast for casting?
They should play the smart move and get that guy that's was Lucas in Umbrella Academy, who's currently the guy doing Reacher.
Richmond.
Yeah,
Richardson.
Yeah,
he's all for
doing that. And Steve Yeun still wants to be in Marvel. Just make the smart cast and make him totally awesome Hulk. Just make him Amadeus Cho.
That would be good. It would be good. What about you? What about you, Chris?
Chris, you did not even think about that, did you?
I didn't. I was like, oh God, yeah. Henry Cavill, step to the stage, please. Henry Cavill, step to the stage.
Now, if
No,
they
and
get him, he can only be Hyperion.
he would be Hyperion, but he got the green light for Warhammer 40K with Amazon. So
Yeah, I think his doc is pretty full though. But
yeah, he's doing his childhood dream. He's getting to actually do a movie on the game he loves.
I honest to God believe, because they are still developing the Warhammer 40K 2, the third person one. I honest to God believe he's going to be in there somewhere as a Ultramarine you just run into, and he does the voice work, and it is his face. I
would
without a shadow of a doubt believe that to be true. I am
all.
making that up right now. There is no source on that. There is no article, but I honest to God believe he will show up in that Warhammer 40K2 game somehow.
There's something there's some admirable things to say about Henry Cavill, and two of them. One of them is this. One of them was his nephew when he was playing Superman. Of course, his nephew was telling kids, "Hey, my uncle is Superman," and you know, kids, and they didn't believe him. And then he walks to school with his nephew one day, and they realize, "Oh, your uncle is really Superman." That was one thing, which I thought was really cool.
When you have to sit there and show it like he's in the suit.
The other one is when I seen him building a PC, and that's when I'm like, "Oh, you are one of us. Your pass is there."
I just like the fact that he put on the anti-static gloves. I was like, as an IT person, I respect that heavily. That lets me know that you understand PC building and you do it safely. I appreciate that.
It was quite admirable. I'm like, "Oh, you get a pass. Thank you. You're fine. You're fine." This man, when he was talking about Witcher, yeah, and I'm like, listen, he knows what he's talking about. Just listen. So I'm glad he's in a franchise that he actually is in a franchise of. So
he's, to me, that's like, I want to see what you do with Warhammer. Maybe you're the guy, because if you do what you did with The Witcher for Netflix, because you insisted on a lot of stuff in that, which made it a great series, I can only imagine what you're going to do with Warhammer 40K. Which again,
when you have a passion for something, and you can get a good balance for bringing it to live action, because let's face it, we know it is extremely difficult to take any type of game and have it cross over to another medium. It's unless it's animation, it's hard to translate.
I mean,
I think they're just now. The other thing we got to remember with him in 40K is that I believe he is executive producer, so he has like final say on a lot of things.
Yeah,
so that is the reason he left Witcher, is because they wanted to deviate from the books, and that man's a continuity whore bigger than most of us are.
But he's right. He was right about The Witcher. He was right.
Oh, no, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying that's probably the other reason why he's doing 40Ks, because they gave him full creative control. Yeah. And again, this is me assuming on my end, but I'm fairly certain he's got some sort of final say, or some say in creative. It's like, no. The War Boys' guns are wood, and they are low-level psychics that make them fire bullets. That is what it says in this manual, and I know he'll hold up a manual. It's like, it's right there.
Comes to the set with the manual.
It's like, it's right there.
It'll be right next to
specifically this clan. These guys are only going to have wooden guns.
Yep. But it's gonna be interesting though. So, but yeah, I mean, Thunderbolts are gonna be fine. Like I said, Marvel's got plenty of time.
I was really trying to figure out how they were going to swing the Thunderbolts with Sentry. I was trying to figure out how they were going to swing that, because let's be honest, I'm like, okay, we know who Sentry is, but if you're building him up in live action to be that antagonist, Aren't we doing this? Aren't we doing Suicide Squad again? All
Oh yeah,
over?
no, I expect
Yeah.
half of that crew to be immediately tossed out, and we immediately get the original Zemo Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, like it just struck me
I
like
don't
it was
expect-
weird.
I don't expect any of them to be as brutally killed, but I expect the main roster to be wiped off the board, or at least 3/4 of them taken off the board, and then Atlas, Songbird, Meteor, Fixer, Mark II to just immediately jump in with Baron Zemo. It's like I can get them done, but I want my team.
Yeah. But
And they're like, what team? Oh, I have a team.
it should be interesting as long as they keep the same guy. As long as they keep the same guy for Baron Zemo. That's all I ask.
Are you
Daniel
looking
Brühl
for
was-
another? Are you looking for another club dance scene?
I'm just looking. I'm looking for another. He's out of line,
No.
but he's the right moment.
No, what he's looking for is for the final kill shot to be the Butler killing the Sentry.
If that happens, I will howl in the movie theater because I'm going to be like, they get it. The fact that they get it, and the Butler's going, it's being handled. It's being handled, Your Grace. That's all I need. But
I'm just glad. I'm just glad that I can finally understand Red Guardian and Bucky being on the same team now. I totally get it now. I totally get it.
We're definitely gonna get to that for what if. But before we do get to that, we do have the trailer for the Doctor Who season. Again, this is with the new Doctor, and
Yes.
I'm loving it. So here's the
Okay,
trailer.
so before we go into this, I do have a question. Who saw the Shurigatwa episode? Who saw the Christmas episode?
Well, the entire
I
thing.
saw
We
it.
all loved it. It was all fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
I just
just
wanna make sure
emotions
everyone's on the
and
same
joy and friendship and joy.
It
And
was
just
it was really
and
it was
Goblin
really
singing,
good.
which that song has been stuck in my head.
So for those that don't know, yes, there is a new Doctor, and here's the trailer.
Into the vortex. I have the whole universe at my fingertips.
Oh, this is big.
You can't! Abbey Road Studios!
All right, let's take it from the top.
Ruby, there are powers beyond the universe.
Are you getting scared because you're just babbling now?
Smell faster! No job, no boss. Just fun.
Classy.
I'd love it if you came with me.
And that was the trailer for Doctor Who, which will I actually need to see about when that series is going to be starting because I had it.
I think it's
my
March.
tongue.
It might be March. I think so.
Spring this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say
Spring or
we'll say
summer?
March. We'll say spring or summer this year. I kind of was on the tip of my tongue as far as when it was starting. I'm looking forward to it because number one, I love the direction they want to go with this. At the same time, the Christmas episode. Again, if you haven't seen the Christmas episode that's on Disney Plus right now, I highly recommend that you do because it sets up for what we're going to see. And I got no complaints. I'm looking forward to it. But fellas, what about you guys?
No.
He needs to
complaint.
sing more. I want that to be his thing. I want him to be the singing doctor.
I need the wardrobe. I'm just like, it's modern.
I mean,
it's retro. This works. I'm
loving the fact that the blue suit with the crisp afro, and I'm like, oh, I like that.
I'm like, you're really the sharpest doctor we've gotten. Like,
Sharpest
So
dresser since Tennant.
yes.
I mean, yeah, that's about the best way I could put that. But yeah, there's nothing more I can say about that except the fact I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you do have a great story. A great showrunner because as we found out with Marvel didn't have showrunners, which explains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the BBC has learned from Marvel, and Marvel has learned from Marvel. But anyway, Doctor Who does look like it's going to be a definitely great season. And I've got to learn to pronounce that guy's name properly.
Shuti Gatwa.
Shuti Gatwa.
Remember,
Okay.
I specifically pinned this in our group chat because we would be talking about him so much.
Yeah,
I will say this about. It's funny because we see this toxic fandom in all the fandoms, right? and they had such a fit about Donna's daughter, who's trans.
Yeah,
they had a problem with Shuti Gatwa, and you know what the BBC said? Please continue. Like,
BBC.
So there's an actual thing called WHO syndrome for doctors specifically. They announce the doctor. No one likes it because they're attached to the doctor. The new doctor appears. Everybody's hard on him for like a season or the opening of the season, and then everybody loves him. And then by the time he's ready to go, we're all in tears because we don't want him to go. We watch, rinse, repeat. Now, as for the trans thing, who gives a shit? She's not a companion. She did a great job. Or they, no, it's she. He did a great job. I had no complaints. The fact that she's named Rose. Ooh.
Keeps coming back to Rose. It just keeps coming back to Rose.
I mean,
always coming back to Rose. No matter what.
What does it matter? Like I said, she's not. If she's a continuing character, by all means.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. If she's like going to be the second companion, and it's Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Well, with it. That's all we'll do. It's like no one.
This is what I love about what the BBC said. They were just like, yeah, whatever. We're gonna continue these stories, and like they're not hung up on it. It was like we're ahead of the curve before anybody else is. How's that sound?
By the way, I think you can go on a BBC shop now and get a screwdriver.
Probably, I think so. If it ain't already sold out.
Off of the BBC.merch.com.
If they not already sold it, I say go for it. But but with that, but moving on, guys, I do gotta point this out because thank you, Joe, for your due diligence on this. We do have the episode list for X-Men 97. The titles for the episodes, pretty much, guys, are as follows. First episode, To Me, My X-Men. Second episode, Mutant Liberation Begins. Third episode, Fire Made Flesh. Fourth episode, Montendo. 5th episode, Remember It. 6th episode, Bright Eyes. 7th episode, Shine with Strength Reborn. 8th episode, Tolerance is Extinction Part 1. 9, Tolerance is Extinction Part 2. And of course, 10, Tolerance is Extinction Part 3. Now, asking you guys, do you think because of what we see from this list, are we thinking they're going to stick with the original 97 storyline, or are they going to tweak it just ever so slightly?
It might be a little bit of both. I think just a little. I'm looking at episodes 2, and because there's a meme going around, and this is like every time it's the Mutant Liberation Front or anything like that, they say mutie with the hard M. Like they said, you're just like, and somebody said that's a Southern Republican finger that he's using.
Right. I mean, it's just the whole idea of just. I mean, I look at this, I'm like, okay, I had to remind myself, okay, how did X-Men 97 start? X-Men 97 did start with actually them actually recruiting Jubilee, but I mean, going by the titles, it still could be that. Of course, at the time of Jubilee's recruitment, there was a certain group that was protesting mutants. I don't remember it's Mutant Liberation or not, but I don't know if you guys remember.
No, it is the Friends of Humanity.
Yeah.
Okay,
okay. That's right, because I FOH, because every time I seen them, I kept saying, fuck out of here. That's what I kept saying.
But yeah, it's one of the ones that with X-Men 97, it's one of the series that we're looking most forward to because they are going back to, honestly, and it's arguable, you could say, because of X-Men 97, it may have saved Fox Saturday mornings. It was a mainstay right next to Spider-Man. And a few others. You can say Power Rangers, just because Power Rangers also was on Fox during that lineup. But I don't have any complaints about this. I'm looking forward to it. If they do tweak the original story, I have no issues with it. I just hope that they keep it to what made it special. But what do you guys think?
Well, I know Sunspot's in there, and I know Jubilee's in there, and the last 3 episodes are called Tolerance to Extinction, so that means they're adapting Operation Zero Tolerance.
Yeah.
So
I want to see how they bring Morph back in.
That's gonna
out
be
of that
So-
out of that entire original series, I'm like, this dude.
I
is
looked at
rough.
that, and his design is the Exiles morph.
Yeah,
So
he
I'm
was-
wondering if he is the Exiles morph.
and then Bishop still more is. It looks like he's more involved.
Mhm.
Hard to see.
And Magneto's got his New Mutants giant M on the chest purple costume from when he was headmaster of the Xavier Institute. So
Yeah.
there's also that. But
Yeah.
I am more interested in how they're going to adapt Operation Zero Tolerance, because that's one of those. So Cyclops has a bomb in his chest, and
Mhm.
those poor children from Generation X do not have a fun time with Bastion.
No, but it's gonna be interesting. That's why I'm looking forward to it when it comes to spring. But before we get to our next trailer, guys, I'm gonna run through these two things because one is something we never asked for, and another one that makes you ponder. So let me go through the one that nobody asked for first. Mickey Mouse as a killer. For all those that don't know, Steamboat Willie, which again was Mickey Mouse's first character. I never can pronounce it. First image. Let's just go with that. I never can say certain words. Mickey Mouse's first image has now become public domain, which means that certain parties want to make a horror film about Mickey Mouse being a killer. And all I can say is, who asked for this?
So there's a lot to go on this one. There's a lot to unpack. First off, Mickey Mouse is not in public domain. Steamboat Willie.
Mhm.
And it's only the character version of Mickey Mouse in that version. The mouse
Yep.
itself, not public domain, meaning
Mhm.
they are trapped by a lot of things, because the moment this version steps on land, copyright
Yeah.
infringement. He cannot leave the boat. It is Steamboat only, because if you look, Mickey does not leave the boat anytime during that small cartoon. So
That is
they
true.
can't leave the boat.
Right.
So I guess that means we're going to be the first act of Jason Takes Manhattan, but with Mickey Mouse.
I'm just
If it looks too much like any other version of Mickey, lawsuit and copyright.
true.
I mean, they probably won't mess with it, because let's face it, Disney has not been going after anybody on Etsy for a while.
But it wouldn't
But
stop 'em.
the moment you get any other version of Mickey, be it that other game, that Area 88 or Installation 88 or whatever it is,
Yeah.
or
Yes,
this, they won't mess with it, as so long as they are people very close to it. Now, that other one where it's very clearly a Doom shooter with 1950s Betty Boop Mickey Mouse graphics, that one's a little weird, but
Oh, Mouse?
yeah, the one that looks like you're going around shooting a whole bunch of Mortimers.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, that
That
one.
first
Okay,
person
yeah.
shooter Mouse, that looks great.
But like
It
stuff
reminds
like
me-
this, like they have to walk such a tight rope to keep
Mhm.
Disney off of them,
That's
that
true.
I honestly don't think it's going to be worth the time.
Well,
They're just doing this for the shock factor, and so they can grab a quick buck.
Yeah. There's a lot of properties that are just being rampantly used now, and they're just twisting it just for the hell of it. I mean, we've been seeing it for the past 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on my Where's Waldo story. Where's Waldo as a serial killer can write itself. Literally can write itself. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he's called Oddlaw. He was in the animated series.
That is also true. But the other story I got outside of who asked for this one actually makes me wonder. John Wick's director, Chad Stahelski, is shooting his shot. He wants to tell Disney he wants to make a Star Wars film. For all those that don't know, Chad Stahelski was the director behind John Wick chapters 1 through 5. With that being said, he does do a lot of gung fu, which the movies are. If you don't know what gung fu is, it's basically just martial arts choreographing with guns, which is exactly what the John Wick movies are about. But could he transition that to a Star Wars movie? And I'm gonna pose this question to both of you guys. If Disney / LucasArts / Filoni decide to give him the green light, and keep in mind, this is a guy that directs action gun fu movies. where would you put him in the Star Wars universe to give him a movie?
The Shut Up Cal Kestis era.
So the news that had just recently came across my board with this director, and I'm totally in agreement with this one. He wants to do Blade.
He could do it. I can see that.
When I seen that, because we talked about this, and we talked about him taking on a Star Wars film, and we were trying to figure out like where he will fit. We great directing, like the action wise, but is it the fit for Star Wars? I think it depends on the characters you're going to use.
That also, but I thought about that, and someone said, why not just give him control of the Bad Batch?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, but that's the other reason I made the Cal Kestis joke, is because Cal Kestis is just John Wick with a lightsaber. All he does is go from giant set piece to set piece and just like fight till he's almost like laying on the ground doing this with his lightsaber just to pick himself back up and carry himself back to the Mantis. I mean, like that's all that those are a John Wick games almost. Like, I know it's a Souls-like game, guys, but like the process is Cal Kestis goes to this planet, nearly dies 50 ways over from fighting everything under the sun to grab one thing, then go back and go to the next planet. That's just a John Wick movie. The problem I have with him wanting to do Blade is I don't think I have the patience to see a 55-minute fight with a stake and one room of vampires.
Okay, so not to cut you off, Ready Set Geek _podcast. Thank you for watching, man. They also sat there and said, well, what about Knights of Ren or a Darth Maul prequel?
Oh no, Knights of Ren is actually not
so here's
bad.
Here's the thing. I will say definitely yes to Darth Maul. That would be fine. Let him do the Padawan years. No for the Knights of Ren, because they have completely and utterly botched that group of D&D wannabes.
But it can be revived to tell a different story, though.
But if you already see that their end are just a bunch of B-list flunkies, I don't care what they're like beforehand.
You said Knights of Ren. What was the other one?
Darth Maul prequel is what they said.
I think after Solo, yeah,
I can see that. I can see more. I mean, I can see both. I can definitely see Darth Maul, because Darth Maul, you can transition gung fu into lightsaber fights. We
didn't really get Darth Maul. We didn't get good Darth Maul until like Rebels, and we didn't get good Darth Maul until then, because even in the movies, Phantom Menace, it was this big dress up. Lady Mandalore. It was this big dress up, and then when we got him, it was like, yeah, you gave him one good fight scene.
Yeah.
I just thought of the perfect person.
What's that?
Cal Katarn. We make a Cal Katarn movie.
I can see that. Okay. It could work too. Like I said, I think he could actually do it. It just depends on the preference for his type of directing. Because his directing, like I said, no, go ahead, Joe.
The reason, sorry, it's just one of those brain farts on the thing. The reason why I say Kyle Katarn is he starts off as a mercenary, so we get all the gung fu, and over the course of the thing, we start seeing him use the Force, just in small ways where he thinks like, oh man, this is lucky, this is going my way for whatever weird reason. Then by the end of the first movie, lightsaber, oh cool, I can do this.
Yeah, but I think it can work. I can see that. Like I said, again, Star Wars.
It's how it fits. Just trying to find the right fit.
That part. Now, again, Star Wars may turn around Filoni may sit there and say no, but he also may go, well, we might give you a shot. It's hard to say. Kieran, you're muted, but I was going to ask you that question too. Do you think that John Wick's director, could he actually do a decent Star Wars movie?
It really depends on the character, but like, if I'm going on the strength of his directing of John Wick films alone, no, it's not the right tone. It's not the right tone for me. I think if he was going to do I'm trying to think of what he, what storyline he could do that has that much action in it. And it's not, for me, it's not The Mandalorian.
Oh, no.
Here, I give out both Cal Kestis for the Jedi Survivor games because the actor can still be of an appropriate age to do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or we just cast an actor to be Cal Katarn, smuggler turned Jedi Knight.
Yeah, but wait, okay. So here's my question, because I really don't know. Is he also a writer on John Wick?
No, he's a director. He's not a writer.
He's just visuals.
He's just the director.
Okay.
I know, right? If you can get away from
this,
it's got to be something.
Would fit.
When you mention Gung Fu, like you said, Bad Batch, some other type of characters.
I'm more along the lines of Imperial Army. Like, if you're gonna do that, then it's gonna be a separate story, and there's plenty of those out there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking he would be perfect for, because
what if
he
wasn't doing a good guy movie?
Yeah, he could do one specifically from a Dark Order. He could do one from as was said by Ray Said Geek. You could do one from a Darth Maul prequel kind of story, which is basically, you're basically from a bad guy angle.
There's the Imperial years.
Yeah, there's plenty out there that doesn't always have to be the good guy storytelling that he could actually do, and it would be perfect.
It could be just a straight out one shot.
Yeah.
I'd like him to do the Night Sisters.
Ooh. I didn't think about that.
Night Sisters. Yeah, buddy.
That would be interesting. I did not think about that. But I can see that.
Let's get on board.
See, again, Mr. Selinsky, if you ever watch this podcast, we're just giving you ideas you can pitch to Disney. I'm not saying you should, but stick to your strengths. That's what we tell Zack Snyder. We tell Zack Snyder stick to his strengths, and yet Netflix keep giving him money. But anyway, moving right along, guys, speaking of Netflix, we do have a trailer called Delicious in Dungeon. It's a new anime that's actually going to be coming out very soon.
It's out now. It is so good. These are by the this is by the Kill la Kill. God, what are they called? They used to be Gynax. Now they're
this is the first I've heard of it. So I was going to ask Joe, I was like, what is Delicious in Dungeon? Because it sounds like Food Wars meets Goblin Slayer when I first saw the stills for it.
Oh, this is the new Studio Trigger anime. So this is that new genre of anime that's slowly creeping in, where it's called cooking anime, where you're in a fantasy world and you learn to cook by using like monsters instead of real food. So instead of chicken, they're cooking cockatrices. Instead of like ham, they're using orc as like substitutes, but they actually teach you how to cook.
The
whole premise is like they go into a dungeon. One of their guys gets killed. They got to go all the way back down to the dungeon, but they have no money. So they have this thing of, well, we're going to live super frugally, so we're going to start eating the monsters we kill. And then it becomes a cooking anime because of that.
Okay, this is going to be an interesting trailer.
First episode's already out. It's fantastic. It's gorgeous to look at.
With that being said, here's the trailer.
これを今日の昼飯にしてみよう。
やだー！別のパーティーがあそこで朝食作ってんだよ。羨ましい。
それは体が油を欲しがっているし。
魔物食べたくないだけじゃ。
ファリーを助けるためなら何でもするって言っただろ。
魔物を食べるとは言ってない。
サソリ鍋か。しかしそのやり方には感心せんの。
姿や鳴き声、どんな生態をしてるのか、そのうち味も知りたくなった。でも妹を助けたい気持ちに偽りはないんだ。
とっとと行くぞ。
はい。
準備はいいか？
おお！
よっしゃー、行くぞー！ありがとう、力になって、それ以上ならなんだっていい。
魔物は危険なものだ。 魔物の本心は絶対に気づけない。
またダンジョンに潜れば、このうまい飯ともしばらくお別れか。
一月も潜ってる人たちはどうしてるんだろう。
お前、城のものではない。
やっぱり絵に描いた餅じ
俺たちがレッドドラゴンを倒す。
レッドドラゴンを料理するのは長年の夢だったのだ。
俺は絶対食わないからな。
早くハリーを助けに行かなきゃ。
よし、行くぞ。こいつは生き物だ。だったらいくらでも倒し方がある。そして食える。
All right, so that was a trailer for Delicious in Dungeon. I'm looking forward to it. I like it. This is the first I've seen of it. It kind of gives me a Food Wars Dungeon Dragon vibe. Ray Said Geek podcast said it's about magic and martial arts, so okay. As Joe said, the first episode is out there. As you saw, it's out there January 4th. I'm digging it. Thoughts, everybody? Thoughts, ideas?
So to this Mary of Geeks and Grubs, this might be giving her some ideas. If she sees this thing.
Oh, if she sees that, she's gonna be like, they took my idea.
He does a lot of anime inspired dishes and geek inspired dishes. I can see this happening. Desmaki down in Columbus, I can see her doing some stuff like this. Let's face it, it's giving you that Studio Ghibli vibe a little bit when you see the food, and you're just kind of like, I'm hungry, even though I just ate. I'm hungry now, and so.
There was one other anime, but I could not find a trailer for it. But I still am going to recommend Mr. Villain's Day Off, which starts tomorrow.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah, what is that? That sounds like fun.
So this is starting the new trend that I'm also seeing in anime, where it is a Sentai-related anime. So it is the head of the villainous organization, and what he does on his days off from being head of the villain organization, and how he interacts with the Rangers and civilian identity.
Oh, it's exactly what I think it is. I'm down. It's exactly what I think it is, and I'm down for it.
So, like, he's on his way back from a convenience store and runs into the Red Ranger, and the Red Ranger starts to fight. It's like, dude, I'm on my day off. I'm not doing this. And there's like, then the Red Ranger's like, oh, in that case, I am lost and I need help to the train station. He's like, oh, we go that way.
So, Kira, really quick, because Ray Said Geek has a podcast. This question for you: what episode are you on with One Piece?
I think I don't know. I know I'm past Ennie's lobby. I think I'm out of Water 7 or just leaving Water 7. So I think that's the 600s.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's about 600s. About.
Yeah.
All right, you're on your way to Thriller Bark.
Yeah.
It's
actually good. That's a good.
I'm just happy that Kira's watching One Piece. A win is a win. That's all. That's almost there.
She's taking her time. That's all we can ask.
You're right. But
it's like reading the Bible. I don't have to.
Let me see what you have the trailer for Mr. Villain.
Go ahead. But while you do that, Joe, because you've seen this, so really quickly, Joe actually did see the movie Wonka, so I was going to just pull him really quickly to see what your thoughts about that with Timothy Chalamet. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize.
Chalamet, sir.
Chalamet. I apologize.
Champagne.
But Joe, since you've seen it, also Kira or Chris, you've seen it too. What did you guys think of it?
I have not seen it.
I will not. I will.
I still watch Gene Wilder's and Johnny Depp's.
All right, Joe.
I like Johnny Depp because of the
I
song.
Actually enjoyed it, but I am a big fan of musicals. So I had a good time with it. I thought they did a passable job. The actor who does Slugworth just knocked it out of the park. Fantastically done. They did the one thing I always ask prequels to do. Do not run into any pre-existing characters through accidents. Like, I didn't want a teenage Wonka running into a 40-year-old Uncle Grandpa Joe. Just towards the end or anything. The only problem I really had with it was Hugh Grant's Oompa Loompa character was not really involved enough in the film to me, but that was just my opinion on that. The other thing I really also enjoyed was Rowan Atkinson being a chocolate addicted bishop. I thought that was hilarious. But Mr. Bean is
It's
also
it's Rowan Atkinson.
Wow.
It's one of those things where I just sometimes wish he doesn't talk because I know him as Mr. Bean, even though I know he's a fantastic actor. It's just one of those. He's got that like rubber face, like Jim Carrey does, where
Yeah,
he
and you're
doesn't need to
waiting
say
on it.
anything. He can just emote perfectly.
All right, well, cool. It sounds. I was thinking about that just to see it because again, it's Wonka. I mean, don't get me wrong. Gene Wilder will always, for me, will always have it. I thought Johnny Depp did a great job with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I just did. I'm thinking to myself.
That was the weird thing about this one is the Johnny Depp one focuses on his relationship with him and his dad. This one focuses on the relationship with him and his mom.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay, that is interesting.
Yep. But I did get your other one. I did get your other video, Joe. So
here's the trailer for Mr. Villain's Day Off.
Yep, and it's exactly what I thought it is. Oh, actually, if I do this.
悪の組織の幹部でよ。しかし、今日は休日。
そこの方、悪の組織の方ですよね。このレンジャー暁レッドが相手に。
今日のところは休戦としようじゃねえか。
駅にはどうやって行けば。
泣いてんのはそいつらじゃなくて俺なんだけど。
もういいや。本当は魔法少女になりたかった。おじいちゃん、あれ食べたいです。案外悪い人じゃなかった。敵にもいろいろいるんですね。
なんだ、まだ腹減ってるのか。よかったらこれどうぞ。
やっと出てくる。
やかましい。
もちろん覚えてるさ、将軍。将軍、よく来てくれたね。
お前と仲良く私服でお散歩なんてついてねえ。
今日はレンジャーたちとも決して争いはしない。そう、なぜなら今日は休日なのだから。
That looks interesting. At the same time, I'm down for it. But as you see, guys, that's Mr. Villain's Day Off. When is it available on Netflix, Joe?
It's on Crunchyroll starting tomorrow, I believe.
Okay, got it. But what do you think, Kira, Chris?
Chris is dying over there.
That's exactly what I thought it was gonna be.
It's very interesting. I need a new anime to watch, and I'll give it a shot.
There's another one that
no,
came out.
It was like, no, it is my day off. I am not here for this.
There's another one, Kira, you should watch. I will get the name for you, but it's what if the Red Ranger falls in love with the main villain's assistant? And it's just goofiness from there on out because they can't let anybody know that they're dating.
Who comes up with these ideas? This is genius.
Just wow. But speaking of wow, guys, a couple things before we get to our comment pools. We do got to talk about What If Season 2. I know on Blurred's Eye View we talked about it, Joe, because I'm bringing this up with you, sir, before we get to the sneak peek for Season 3, which is going to give us something we never thought about, but now we need to have in our lives. But before we get to that trailer, sir, what did you think of What If Season 2 for the What If for Season 2, I should say?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun. Everyone that cosplays Peggy Carter is eating real well because you got about 9 or 10 new costumes you got to work on. I never knew how badly I needed the team up of Hella and Morris. It's just one of those things of like,
it was a joke that you knew was coming and still appreciated it.
Oh yeah. And the obvious just like big time flirting between Shang-Chi's dad and Hela was like also just as equally as good.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. Like I said, I like that we got the Mohawk people and Kiori, who was introduced in the comics last Heritage Month. We are slowly expanding.
Fantastic character.
Yes, we are slowly expanding our roster. So that means we got Kiori, Ultrax, Danny Moonstar, and Forge now.
Yeah.
For known Indian characters or known Native American characters in Marvel Comics. I believe there are probably more.
Oh,
I would say he's part of Alpha Flight, so he is Canadian Indigenous. So does not technically count.
Well, we count continents, but yeah, I see your point. But Kira, Chris, really quickly, what did you guys think of season 2 of What If?
I thought it was really great. I didn't have any expectations. I thought that I was hoping that they'd have a good story, and they finally did. So I'm really happy with it.
Nice.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be good. I didn't think it was going to be great, and I was surprised. Very well told. Representation is everything. It's everything, and
accurate representation.
Accurate representation of that. The choreograph fight scenes, like what was it, episode 6 with Peggy and Black Widow?
Yeah,
I think that was 6. I was just like, I'm like, why don't we have more? We need more of this. I need to see these.
It's like I said on Blurred's Eye View. Why did they give us a better story of the Winter Soldier and Black Widow, and you did it inside of 30 minutes?
It's amazing.
And naturally, we also now know after season 3 it's canceled.
Yeah.
But still to this day, Jeffrey Wright does not get the flowers he deserved, and I swear to God, the character break was amazing.
What the?
What the hell is this?
What the hell is this? It's like it's like he read off script because something went through the room and was recording. He literally just went from, as a watcher, I cannot, will not. What the hell is this? Just literally just went off script, but it was really great. But the reason why we're talking about What If season 2, because obviously it was a huge success. They've already given us a glimpse at what season 3 is going to be, and as I said before,
they didn't even wait till the season was over with to give that glimpse. They were just like,
close.
Y'all gonna keep eating too.
I mean, if anything we could say from What If, they have actually had a consistent showing for season 1 and 2. But season 3 was like, what happens if you put the Red Guardian and the Winter Soldier together? Well, you get this.
These fries are pretty good. They must be made from Russian potatoes. Russia's the best. Oh.
I'll handle this one.
Relax. Red Guardian has this. Are you relaxing? It's very hard to tell. Your eyes so angry like Winter Fox. How can I help you, officer?
Just a routine check-in. Say, where you fellas headed?
Sisters. Yes, to visit our sister. It's her birthday.
You guys are brothers? What'd you get your sister for her birthday? Because I cannot for the life of me figure out what to get my wife for Christmas.
Television.
You got her a sweater and a television? Wow, that's very generous. Nice story, but where are you really headed? Step out of the vehicle and keep your hand.
Whoa, hey! Really, again with the guns, and I had wool over his eyes.
Target spotted, in pursuit. Exercise caution, but get them.
Get in, cowboy! Let's go round up some super soldiers.
Stop with the bullets! You should dance with your enemies. It is like a great ballet of violence. Where did that come from? Did you have that the whole time? What? No, don't shoot! Dance!
Stop swerving. I told you, dance! Come on, man. Dance! Dance! Oh, it's jammed. You know what Karl Marx said about machines? They make men lazy.
Stop! Stop! It's over! Surrender yourself!
The Red Guardian never surrenders! Dance! Oh, with the fox and the Red
Now, again, if I sit there and see that, I have to point this out ever so nicely. Who in their bingo card of 2024 had Red Guardian and the Winter Soldier on a road trip?
It's 48 hours.
Yeah.
My bingo card is shot. But again, it's the one thing that we never I don't remember anybody asking for it, but now that I see it, I want it. I want to see where it goes.
Makes Thunderbolts all make more sense now, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Who is the gentleman in the law enforcement? He seems very familiar, and I cannot place him.
Lawrence Fishburne was voicing him, and I thought that was Bill Foster first.
That's what I was thinking.
He ends up playing. I can't remember. He was in. Oh my God, Ant-Man 2. He played big dude when he gets
Goliath.
big.
Yeah, Goliath.
Goliath.
Wait, that's Bill. That's that world's version of Bill Foster.
More than likely.
I mean, it is Lawrence
All right,
Fishburne.
I'll roll with
He
it.
does look just like it.
I mean, it is possible that it may be him, but they didn't actually say. But I mean,
Why would they change his name? It doesn't seem like they would change his name now. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I think that's a way of keeping Bill Foster alive and active in the MCU is by having him in What If. But no, I'm loving that. I just want to, like I said, season 3, as Chris said, they didn't even wait for the last episode of season 2 before they said, "Oh, here's what we're doing in season 3." So you guys can just sit and stew until we're ready for you. But what ifs. But overall, guys, what do you think? I mean, we already love season 2. Does this not make you look forward to season 3? Do you have concerns, or is it a wait and see?
Nah.
No, I'm good. I'm ready.
We're two out the gate. I've said it on the show before, and like I love the What If comics because it's just one of those runs where you can get away with anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always a fresh story, and that's what you end up wanting in the end anyways. You just want a fresh story. It doesn't have to be the same thing all the time, and you can just tell, like, who to this day, I never had Aunt May as a Herald of Galactus. I never signed up for it. It's hilarious as all get out.
One of the best cards in my versus deck.
See? But it worked. It was like, you know what? It works. It works.
No one ever remembers Golden Oldie.
Lord, but no, I look, I got no qualms about it. I'm just like, I need to have that episode. I need to have that episode just because, like we said, does this help us to understand what the Thunderbolts is going to wind up being, even though it is a what if story, but we do know the Thunderbolts movie is coming. Does it give context? That's the thing. And that's why it's just that part right there is what I wonder.
I think it gives context because the question that was being raised when it was announced who the roster was for Thunderbolts was, why would Bucky be on this team of ex-villains, right? Or whatever. Well, now seeing something like this and you think about it, I'm like, well, he was consistently being thawed out over time from Russia, and Red Guardian is their version of Captain America.
Yeah.
This makes sense. Now to say, hey, they may have had a past, and done a mission together a couple of times in Red Guardian's heyday. This makes sense.
Yeah. But I can't wait to see what they come up with. That's the thing about it. It's like you're traveling Midwest. What looks to be traveling in the Midwest. You have Bill Foster chasing you, I'm guessing, until they say his name. But like I
I'm
said,
going Bill Foster. It's What If. I'm going Bill Foster. It may not be the Bill Foster we've seen this season, but it's Bill Foster. He might be working for the FBI.
I can see that.
Might be working for Shield. Before it got bigger.
That is also true. That's another thing about that too. But Joe, Kira, what do y'all guys think?
Joe, you take it first.
Okay. I'm fine with it. I mean, this is just going to set a precedence for what Thunderbolts will probably feel like. I guarantee you, if they're filming in March, this will probably come out probably February, January of next year. So they'll probably dump this in like the fall or the winter season 3, because I don't know what they're like. Till D23 comes and tells us here's what the lineup is looking like from here on out, or the release timeline. I don't know where season 3 is going to fall. So, they're just like really telling us, hey, this is a group this is at least a dynamic that you will be able to get used to, because Thunderbolt starts filming in March.
That's true. But that looks like I mean, like I said, it spurns. It has my mind in wheels as far as where they want to go with it. And I'm going to be going down that rabbit hole to actually see something. But Kira, you got anything you want to add to it, or are you waiting like the rest of us?
I mean, yeah, I'm waiting, but it gives me pause to think about what, I guess how. It makes me think about what they're going to do as far as the story tree that Loki's made. I guess everything is still going to exist.
Glorious fucking purpose.
Where Loki says, "This was not the story I came up with, but I had to save everybody. I had to save everybody."
See, now I'm wondering how many times Bucky's gone up against Isaiah.
Ooh.
That might be.
I don't know why we haven't gotten that yet. We need this damn story.
Because we do know for a fact that Red Guardian has gone up against Isaiah, because he keeps saying all the times he fought Captain America, we know he doesn't mean Steve.
Yeah.
Now I got that in my head. It's like, well, how many times has Bucky fought Isaiah?
Well, that makes you wonder, because he did say I did fight Captain America, but he was not that.
Here's the thing. I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on that. Now that Bucky's back to being Bucky, and Sam is looking at Isaiah as kind of his mentor. Waiting on that. I'm waiting on that dinner.
Jesus,
waiting on that dinner. That dinner's going to be something.
Ooh, that dinner is going to be. That's going to be something else.
It's going to be Cat Williams levels of uncomfortability.
Oh, the level of just scorched earth that is still sizzling. But anyway, other anime before we get to the Kang casting rumors, and then we get to our comic pulls. I'm gonna ask everybody, because once I show this, it's gonna be, are you okay? And what I mean by is this: are we okay? Because
no, I haven't seen it.
No,
well, I know Joe, you haven't seen it, but Kira has seen it. I know Chris has seen a few episodes. I've seen it, and if you have not seen the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen, which does cover the Shibuya incident arc, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but I will say be emotionally prepared.
You're not. You can't. You can't be emotionally. You can't. Just sit there and watch it, call your therapist, and have them on standby. That's it.
Watch it with someone who hasn't watched it, and then look at them and say, you have an allegiance to losers, and that's not like you.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
Oh, it's getting a lot this year.
a lot of those gems are going to definitely be used, especially throughout the year. But yes, Jujutsu Kaisen, guys, for all those that were either waiting for Crunchyroll to finish up the current arc as it is at a holding point right now, because we've only gotten the first half of the incident arc. The second arc will probably be coming sometime. They haven't said it, but if we follow arcs usually in the anime world, especially with Mappa and the fact that they are just constantly cranking out episodes, we might get the second half next year. It's just hard to tell right now, but They gave us a lot this season. Go ahead, Karen.
Have they figured out that whole we're gonna tell on y'all because we don't get to sleep in our houses or in beds situation for the animators? Have they worked that out?
Strangely enough, it's quiet about that now.
I
There
bet
hasn't been a peep about that.
I bet.
Like I'm not sure what happened.
Somebody's daughter's in a basement somewhere. I'm sure that's part of the reason.
I'm guessing because I do remember they did talk about let's say working conditions. We're getting pushed to do this, that, and the other, and that was right before December actually, and then crickets,
and then silence.
It's been crickets since then. But no, it's just I understand what
they
Matt
said.
was.
Here, watch Godzilla -1, and then
that must have if Godzilla did say Matt, then that kaiju's not getting enough credit for life. But no. But I'm sorry, what are you gonna say?
No, I was gonna make a bad joke. These are not the working conditions you're looking for.
Right. But with Jujutsu Kaisen, like I said, not to spoil it because at this point, I don't want to be that guy, but let's just say I will say this: treat this like The Walking Dead when Negan showed up. That's all I'm gonna say. I will leave it at that. When you first saw the bat and you first saw Negan, keep that in mind as you're watching the first 9 episodes. That's all I'm saying. But either way, great. It was a great series. I don't know if you guys want to add anything more to it outside the fact that you've been emotionally destroyed.
This teaches you how to deal with detachment.
Man,
in so many ways. Don't get too attached. Don't
at all.
Just watch it. If you start cheering, don't do it no more.
I mean, that's about the best way we could put that. Like, don't get attached to anyone.
It's up for everybody. It's up for everybody. It literally everybody.
It's like someone asked Josh Whedon, if you decide to pick who is going to get off, and he said, "Who says I'm choosing?" Everybody can go, but no. It was definitely a great series. Again, we don't know when the second half of the incident arc is going to pop up. It may be a little bit longer this year, maybe next year. We don't know. I'm still waiting on Fire Force. I'm still waiting for my season 3 of Fire Force, which is supposedly supposed to be coming out this year. So hopefully, I would like to have that. I would like to have My Hero Academia that actually goes past the Hero War. That would be freaking nice. But like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. But speaking of things we're waiting and seeing, as we kind of rack down to get to our comment pools, again, guys, I know this was discussed on Blurred's Eye View because the possible Kang replacement. Because let's be honest, Jonathan Majors rolled the dice and came up a 1, so he has been sent.
No, he came up a 2.
He's still breathing.
Yeah.
No, it says how many times he got the guilty verdict.
Technically, a 2 is still breathing. Humbled, I'll say. But anyway, Jonathan Majors is out, and right now Marvel is in a crisis mode. I know me and Joe talked about it. I know Chris talked about it. Kieran talked about it. Where can Marvel go from here? Now, of course, the obvious answer would be to go to Doom, but again, with Dr. Doom being one of the most complex, I wouldn't call him a villain because really he's not a villain. He's a guy that has standards, and if you cross his standards, he takes you out. That's not a villain to me. That's a guy that's pretty much
he forewarns you. So there's no.
Gaddafi had lines. He had levels too.
I
don't want to say the other person because I feel like I don't want to get into that whole.
That's
I get it. But people call Dr. Doom a villain. I'm like, he's not really a villain.
Not a villain. He keeps telling you all.
The Silver Age Dr. Doom is absolutely evil mad scientist villain. Current Doom, he's just there.
Yeah.
He's just there, and he's got his means, he's got his motives.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. That's pretty much. And that's a line to Luke Cage.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means, but
go directly to Doomenstad.
Right, he came for that $200. But yes, one of the options was that it could go to Doom. The other that was thrown out was recasting Kang. And this man's name, and again, we want to hope for this man. At this point, it's only been thrown out there. It hasn't been confirmed. It hasn't been. It's been said that he would be, and that man that you see right there is Coleman. I forgot his name already. Help me out here, Kira. You know his name.
Coleman Domingo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think Kira would know because she was saying she saw that picture.
You know what? Why everybody? Because they did decide they were still going to do the Kang run,
right?
Coleman Domingo.
Which,
I've seen this man's body of work, and I'm just like,
and his body. I don't care what team he's on.
Oh no, we want you. Oh, be honest, Kira. It's a safe space. Be honest.
And God bless his family because Jesus made a way, and it might be through Coleman Domingo.
So I tossed out two things.
Mm-hmm.
One, we're pivoting to Doom too quickly. Two, why not just bring back the High Evolutionary? I don't understand why we're so quick to toss him away. He was an excellent villain. We did not kill him. He can just have his eyes set on Earth.
Yep, he's in prison.
And Coleman Domingo, absolutely. But I still say Omar Sy would do a better job.
See, that's the thing. Omar Sy, for all those that don't know, he's the guy in the Netflix Lupin D'Arsante, not to be confused with Lupin the Third. Although, again, Lupin the Third is a great anime.
I mean, technically, he is still Lupin the Third. I mean, he is still Lupin the Third.
In so many ways, except several ways.
He can't be Lupin the Third because he has a child, and we both know Lupin the Third would never have a kid, unless it's Lupin the 50. Unless it's Lupin the 83rd in the future.
I mean, no, Lupin is kind of. You know what? Let me not say that. But
anyway,
but no.
Yes, so Omar Sy for me. I understand why this gentleman. Just from looking at him and the picture alone speaks enough. Yes, I would definitely say him, but I would still say Omar Sy is my go-to to replace Mr. Majors. But again, I would shift over to the High Evolutionary.
But I think they're saving him. I will counter that and say I think High Evolutionary is being saved for something else. I don't think they're.
That man is going to be hell bent on getting his revenge on Guardians of the Galaxy. It doesn't make sense. There would have to be a lot of jumping, leaps, and bounds in order to get him to come into this universe. It wouldn't make sense for him to be the next big bad. He honestly, in my head, he's maybe I'm going to say three big baddies away.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but when especially watching Volume 3, and you realize just how deep his hands have been in a lot of other races of aliens. Just like there's no reason why. Like, this ain't the last.
It should
not be the last.
But we've already established the mountains of Wundagore, which is his home base on Earth. So there's no reason for him not to go there to recuperate from getting his face shredded and getting the giant armor mask.
But here's the thing, though: don't you run into the problem? Like I said, like Kira was saying, you're going to still run into that problem of if you decide to bring in the High Evolutionary. I mean, from a story point, he's going to go straight after Rocket.
And what was Rocket's home for multiple years?
I get that. But here's the problem. Do you want him? Do you want your big bad to immediately go on a revenge arc straight from Volume 3?
Yes.
I don't think it'll work.
No, you need something that's going to be cohesive to the entire MCU.
They haven't been cohesive for a while. Why stop now?
But that's the problem.
I would like it to stop. That's the point. I would really like it to stop. It needs to stop. We need to start building an actual cohesive universe, and they haven't been doing that.
I hate to be that. I hate to be that guy, but after Endgame,
it's been
No Way Home, and it's just like that's a very high bar, and and Kira's right. We have to rebuild. You have to build a new team. You have to build the next bad. Kang is your next bad. You can still do it. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. Just
right. And Kang is kind of set. I mean, he is already set for Secret Wars in the Kang Dynasty. I think they want to protect.
Not like you haven't changed roles for people.
I mean,
before. It's not like it
Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard is always going to be the greatest example of taking lemonade and taking lemons and making lemonade.
Yeah,
to me, that'll always be the greatest example because Don Cheadle slick came in there and said, "I'm good. What you need? I'll play War Machine." He sat there and Slick came in and said, "Look, I will cuss RDJ out for 5 movies, no problem." But I still think that from an MCU storyline point, there needs to be a web again with the whole thing of it's all connected. When you had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actually webbed into the MCU and everything flowed as if you're telling an overall saga. And I agree with Kira and I agree with Chris. They really did too many splintered off stories and you're trying to link them together. It doesn't work. And you can see that it doesn't work. So don't get me wrong. I want the High Evolutionary again because I love that man as an actor. I think that he will have a long time in the MCU. I just don't want his next appearance to be immediately going after Rocket. That's the thing. If you sat there and said that the High Evolutionary was not going after Rocket in his second movie, I'm inclined to listen.
Well, my problem is we're running out of villains because after we deal with Doom, we get the X-Men. So the only logical explanation would be Onslaught,
which they could spend time building up. I mean,
well, that's the problem is you're going through your big bads too quickly. Like we haven't even touched Annihilus.
That's what I'm saying. But that's
whole
also
cosmic
to the point.
Stuff too.
That's also to the point. They need to slow down and build these stories.
Yeah, but I mean, that's my thing is like, that's why I want that thing. So it builds into the thing. Like we can learn that the High Evolutionary is some bizarre variant of Kang for no reason. Like we can just say it.
That would piss me off. That would piss me off to no fucking end.
I mean, when you have James Spader did an amazing Ultron.
Yeah.
Yes. You can always bring back Ultron.
Yes.
There is never a problem.
To say that he's gone, I'm like, it's a computer program.
He's never gone.
They're already doing incorrect versions of Kang too.
Yeah.
So,
like I mean, you have White Vision running around. Why couldn't even whom, by the way, was supposed to be his body? Who's to say that during that initial upload that some of that code still isn't there?
Eltron's story was he always had a copy of himself somewhere. Yeah. There's always a copy of himself somewhere to where it found another body. That's always been the story.
He wasn't completely while his upload was interrupted, he was still there. Like,
yeah. Of course, Ultron did technically come back for that brief Avengers team up on that cruise. So,
I still laugh. I would still laugh if White Eltron figured out the ship of Theseus and it was Eltron that figured it out. That would mess me up.
The thing what bothers me is we keep going to Kang. We're going to Kang, but like they're already misusing different versions of Kang because like they're saying Immortus is like the big head honcho of everything, and if you read the books, Immortus is like the end version of Kang where he's just like, dude, nothing really matters. Yeah, I'm chill. I'm gonna be over here. He's not like this big malevolent head of the triumvirate.
But that's what I'm saying. From that point, it's like you can still build the story. Like the whole problem is you have the bads out there that you can bring into it, but again, it's the story building. Like you can still bring in Eltron at some point. You can even bring him in Armor Wars. You can sit there and say that he pops up in Armor Wars somewhere as a program.
I'm almost going to assume he's going to be the main bad guy in Armor Wars at this point.
I mean, they've been very quiet about that. But it could work in the same sense with Kang. I think that, because we're only getting one movie this year, and it's Deadpool. And we already know Ryan Reynolds is going to protect that like it's his firstborn child. We know that's going to be fine. But we also know that Marvel's going to have a full year to go back to basics, put everybody in a room, lock it down, and say, give me a continuous MCU. Give me a interlinked continuous MCU.
And look at the television department and say showrunners. We need showrunners. Y'all need to be in the room together, whiteboards and all. Work this shit out.
And the other thing that I really need them to do is have the people that are running the movies, the writers, everybody needs to come into the same room as the showrunners. Everybody needs to talk. This hand needs to know if it's washing the ass. We all need to know what the hell is going on.
Even if you're not in the same room,
don't watch this show.
As
and
long
just
as
do your own shit. No.
Even if you're not in the same room at the same time, you got a whiteboard when you come in, and the TV writers come in and like, okay, this is what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. That gives us an idea. And then
even when we make it relevant, look at Echo. Echo is literally focusing on Kingpin, Echo, and Daredevil, in which we already know as all comic heads in here, Echo has hung out with Daredevil and Moon Knight, as Joe had said previously. It's the fact that you have your continuity there. You already know that this could bleed into Daredevil. You also know that this could possibly bleed into Luke Cage or Jessica Jones if they decide to bring those shows back. Although
it's happening,
there's too much going on, and it's what they're doing. They're playing quiet. Things has happened, and then it's disappeared. And I'm like, it wouldn't be there if something's happening. I know that.
As long as they bring back a different Iron Fist.
Oh, that Iron Fist. Me and Joe have sat there and said, please
just bring the new Asian kid. Bring the kid who's Swordmaster in his Iron Fist.
Bring someone in who can actually fight. That's what we're saying.
We kept on saying the whole time, please get somebody other from David Deaton Karate Studios training these people to do half katas. I'm like, Donnie Yen, Tony Jaa, Sammo Hung, Jet Li. You're gonna sit there and tell me none of these guys are not available? None of them?
Or don't know people? Come on.
Right. A phone call? I mean, we saw what you did with Shang-Chi.
Just go ahead and bring back Moon Knight. Bring back She-Hulk with a bit more of a more solidified run, even though the last 2 episodes were fantastic and most definitely a She-Hulk thing. I love the whole thing of She-Hulk. I love that her dad's Uncle Larry, but that's a whole thing for me. Or cousin Larry. I like the whole She-Hulk thing, but by God in heaven, drop that Scar BS. No, we're never going to Sakaar again with Hulk. We don't need his kid here. That serves nothing, no point of moving the story.
You mean the kid whose dad had to pick him up from school because he messed up again?
Yeah,
because of how bad his haircut was.
See, this is why I say outside of Spider-Man, and before we go to our comics pool, but this is why I sit there and say outside of Spider-Man, Hulk will always, for some odd reason, get a bad rep as movies. It's like, you can't give me, don't get me wrong, probably the most okay Hulk movie we got was The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. That was probably it. That's probably the closest you're going to get to a close to being okay, because it could have been better. I mean, I like Tim Roth.
There was a bad villain in the Ang Lee Hulk. Like, no one, you have to go know your Hulk real well to know who Zax is.
Yes,
yeah,
it's
that was digging.
It was
digging.
But here's the thing: when you had other Hulk enemies you could do, and you had you heavily CGI'd it, and then you waited for Hulk you waited for Eric Banner's Hulk to literally transform an hour and 20 minutes into the movie, and it wasn't even that. It wasn't what we wanted to be.
They showed us all the movie in the trailers.
You know what would be a fantastic show? You can do 5 episodes of it. Mm-hmm. You just do a Joe Fixit in Vegas run.
Oh, that would be good. Because Joe Fixit is not known to a lot of people. And that would be perfect. I know. It's basically, a long story short, Kira, if Hulk was a fixer in Vegas. He was great Hulk. He had a gangster attitude and everything.
So Joe Fixit is a version of the Gray Hulk that only comes out so long as Bruce Banner is in Las Vegas at night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is basically the ultimate bouncer known throughout Vegas.
Yeah.
However, he is only as strong and as tall as the Thing. but he's also smart.
Which is about a good 6 feet. He's a 6-footer. He's a 6-footer.
He's a 7-footer. He's a 7-footer.
Yeah. He got some height, but he's not.
But the fact between him and Kingpin having a fight was hilarious. There's a story of Kingpin coming to Las Vegas and Spider-Man and Peter Parker being in Vegas as well. It's a really good comic line if you ever get to read it. But
like I said, just do like a 5-episode miniseries. Just call it Fix It. Mm-hmm. No one's gonna just do Marvel's Fix It. No one's gonna know. Half the audience is gonna think it's a Felix Fix It Felix series. You don't drop anything. Then you just slowly clue people in. It's a Hulk series. Everyone's gonna get rode down on it, and then they just realize, oh, it's what if Hulk is in Vegas? Then you just let everybody just like start thinking of Hulk tearing through the sands and Hulk tearing through the main strip, and then you realize, oh, it's a gangster show.
Yeah, but it would work. I will give you that. But that's the news that we have, guys. So as Joe's getting the comic pool list together, we always do want to show love to Rick's Comic City. Rick's Comic City voted #1 place in Nashville to buy comics, anime, manga, things of that nature. Pretty much they have it all. They have 2 locations, one in Nashville and one in Clarksville, Tennessee. And of course, Locker Nerd at Fort Campbell. You can also go to their website, as you see there, at rickscomiccity.com, to where you can buy and trade hardcovers, do pull lists, do things of that nature. Let them know the guys at Get Bit sent you. We don't give any discounts, but they show us love because you see our handsome mugs playing on their TV as you go in. But definitely check them out. Of course, as we always say before, guys, if you are not in the Tennessee area, support your local libraries, support your local comic stores. Please shop small. I know Barnes & Noble. I know all those places are great. They have Starbucks. They have coffee. Let's not forget the mom and pop stores because there is so much more things and discounts you can get by shopping small. And again, libraries is a big thing because, again, they're trying to keep you from reading books, especially kids. They're trying to keep you from reading books. So as me and Joe have said a lot of times on the show, read the banned books, kids, because there's things in there that you should know that they don't want you to know that we highly encourage you to know. So with that being said, as you see Joe put up, I read banned books. I love that freaking library card, by the way. That being said, guys, definitely check out, Rick's Comic City if you are in the Nashville location, but also support your local comic books, support your local libraries. They are the last places to where you can get these things, and once they are gone, we're all gonna cry. But Joe, I see you got a comic book, you got your pull list up, sir. So whenever you're ready.
Yep. All right, first issue, we're going with DC, the Blue Beetle #5. This is written by Josh Trujillo with art by Adrian Gutierrez. Will Quintana is chorus, and Lucas Gattoni is lettering. This is just continuing the current storyline we're in with Blue Beetle, where he's still trying to figure out how he's going to be dealing with the Blood Scarab, who has nearly killed Ted Cord. We're also looking at some stuff that may have happened with Alan Grant, the original Blue Beetle. At least I'm thinking I remember saying that name correctly.
Yeah,
this is one of those like we're slowly moving into the final phase of this first arc. I liked it. Jaime's still trying to figure out if he can like beat Blood Scarab without killing Blood Scarab. Meaning, apparently, Blood Scarab is also unleashed new ability to make minions.
Yeah, he can basically.
I don't really know what to call him.
I call it, it's Necro to me, but that's what I call it. You can basically turn people into Beetle-esque humanoids. I guess that's the way you put that. Either way, it's creepy. It's creepy.
We're just
Kira, you about to hate me.
Yeah. I'm digging it, but I'm always going to try and support Blue Beetle comic.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Now, like I said, we're digging it. It's just moving into the final phase of its first arc. Next up, we got Kneel Before Zod. This is written by Joe Casey, art by Dan McDade, colors by David Barron, and lettering by Troy Petrie. This is a new Zod comic. I just kind of wanted to cover it. It's doing quite a bit of things. Zod's ruling New Kandor. He has kicked his son off planet because he's being insolent, because Lore is finding things out about the planet that Zod doesn't want him to, and also because Zod has problems with his son, because Lore is not entirely the house of Zod. If you are not familiar, Lore actually got out of the Phantom Zone for a while, was actually raised by Lois and Clark under the name Christopher Kent. To the point where when he's brought back and given to Ursa and Zod is not that fantastic. But fair not, for we learn that Ursa is pregnant with their second child. So Zod's like, you can leave. The newer child will be raised entirely by me. Also, this takes Lore out for that new Sinister Sons book where it sees Lore and the illegitimate son of Sinestro teaming up. The Khunds attack, and Zod is going to be torturing them for attacking New Kandor. It's a fun book. We don't get to see like a pure villain book every so often, especially one with Zod, and Zod's going to be kind of brutal.
But the crazy part is he doesn't see himself as the villain. He doesn't.
In fact, he's slowly going nuts.
He's slowly trying to convince himself that he's doing everything right and that everybody else is wrong. That's all. It's like, that's very un-Zod-like. Zod is more along the lines of it's my way or be incinerated. That's what it used to be.
Neil.
Well, the other thing is that he's slowly going nuts because the opening thing, he's having this great discussion with Jor-El, and it's not a flashback. Like, you legitimately believe Jor-El is there, and then the Eradicator's like, who you talking to there, Chief? No one.
Well, let's be honest. Jor-El is always going to be his Goku to his Vegeta.
Oh God,
he's always going to be the Goku, the Vegeta's like, even if you're dead, you're still here. Yes, I know, and it's fucking with you.
Yeah, but that means Zod won all three of those fights.
Yeah. But still, it's a good issue. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to continue with this one because I want to see where they go with this. Because again, like you said, we don't get a lot of villain-esque comics, and if they do, they're short-lived. So this does seem interesting. I do like it, and this is the one I was telling you about, Chris. If you do get to pull it, you should definitely give this one a shot.
Yeah, because it's crazy because I knew this was coming out, but I didn't go to the store yet, and all I kept thinking was Terrence Stamp, and just. That's all I kept thinking because it was just like, that's all I think of. And I'm like,
is that so much simpler? Is that so much easier? I was like, I'm sorry, I went into my Loki speech for a moment. I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Well, good thing we're talking about Loki because we're going over back to Amazing Spider-Man because if I have to be tortured, everybody has to be tortured.
Nothing like teaming up with the ex-wife, huh?
Why do we have to go back to Lego Block Spider-Man?
Because for a change, and the artwork actually works because this is more focused on Kingpin and other characters and not Spider-Man. So this is written by Zeb Wells. Unfortunately, art is still John Romita Jr. Scott Hanna doing the coloring, and Marcio Menez.
Close enough.
Marcio Menez is doing colors.
Coloring.
As I said, this is just one big fight between Kingpin's men versus Tombstone's men, with Typhoid Mary like flirting with, we can't tell if it's She-Hulk or Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man.
And that only fuses to enrage Wilson even more. Yeah, it's actually Spider-Man. And we also see that the Beetle is fighting the Rose. We don't know who's winning. This was actually not a bad issue because this did not solely focus on Spider-Man. This was more of a thug fight between Kingpin and Lonnie, to where even Kingpin's like, remember when we were both heavies and just starting out? This is what that kind of fight I want.
That was a conversation between two old men that wanted to stop fighting, but pride was in the way. That's all it really was. Between the two of them, it's like you used to hit harder. Well, so did you. Are you tired? I'm not tired. And they're literally, I mean, they're
like, I just don't care.
I mean, just from the view is they're literally like rams head to head, and they're having this full-on conversation while they're swinging. It's like watching two old men that used to fight really well but just don't know when to quit.
It's watching Batman and Captain America fight and realizing I can do this for hours, and Cap, I can do this for days. You want to find out who's doing this right now? So,
but yeah, it's a good issue.
Well, I mean, the bigger question, well, we know who wins that fight. The first one who fights dirty, so it's going to be Batman.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, just if you can get past the Spider-Man arc, Spider-Man being drawn that way, and She-Hulk was realized that she can be cut, which again, thanks to Krakoa's newly adamantium edged swords that Typhoid Mary has, it's still a good issue. I just can't get past the artwork. That artwork
no, it's bad. Like that opening page spread between everybody, it still looks like She-Hulk has scales running along her arms. And I know that's supposed to be musculature, but the way they just draw like the squiggly constant W's across her forearm makes me think scales more than anything else.
That this goes to show you somebody doesn't know how to draw biceps.
Well,
but what are you gonna say, Chris?
it's like Typhoid Mary's hair. It's like it's giving 80s glitter wig.
Glam rock.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the personality she's in. Like that is like legit how she looks most of the issue.
Like Aquanet and teased hair. I mean,
but the funny part was the whole flirting that she did, and She-Hulk and Spider-Man were like, "Who is she talking to?" That part was actually pretty funny. Between two of them, like, "Who is she talking to?" And finally, Spider-Man's like, "I think it's me." He's like, "Yeah."
No, she finally. No, even Kingpin stops her, and Spider's like, "Thank you. It was so distracting."
But no, outside the arc, it was a good issue. That's another one I would recommend, especially with the Gang War storyline.
Yeah, like I said, I actually enjoyed this one just because of the two old fighting constantly.
Two grumpy old men.
Moving on over, we got Vengeance of Moon Knight #1. This is the next step forward in the Jed MacKay Moon Knight era.
That's a pretty bitch right there. Look at that motherfucker in that goddamn suit. That is a pretty ass cover.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now that's nice.
Yes, this is written by Jed MacKay with art by Alessandro Cappuccio, colored by Rachel Rosenberg, and covered by David Finch.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Fallout issue of Moon Knight, where Mark has been killed. We see a nice Jewish funeral, as done by Marvel's ever-loving blue-eyed Jewish rabbi, Ben Grimm.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize he was a full rabbi.
Oh yeah, he did the whole Jewish school thing. That's all I was like, Ben's a rabbi? Oh, all right.
I didn't think he was Jewish. I just didn't realize he was a rabbi.
Yeah, he pulled that rabbit out there had a couple years back.
Yeah, didn't he marry somebody? He helped.
He's married to Alicia Masters with 3 adopted children.
Yeah, I think it's 3.
I think it's like 3 Skrull kids.
Yeah.
It's a girl and a boy. I can't think who the third kid is.
Wait,
maybe 2 then.
Wait.
Yeah, they adopted. They it's a Skrull and a Kree kid.
No. Wait, I'm just trying to remember.
That's it.
Yeah,
but he did marry somebody.
Were they gay?
Alicia Masters.
He.
Alicia
I mean,
Masters is longtime
he
girlfriend.
officiated. I'm sorry. He officiated a marriage.
Oh, that was that was I can't think of who the marriage was. He was over, but
it's one of them situations where it was like, oh, we don't.
I know who it is. I know who it is. It's Wiccan. It's Wiccan and his husband.
Yes, that's it.
It's one of like we don't have a pastor, and he's like, well, I'm a rabbi. You know,
you don't mind a rabbi. You don't mind a rabbi marrying you. It's like, hey. But no, I'm sorry, but yeah, this issue of Moon Knight just
I'm
also
they're doing this stuff.
Hang on, Joe, before you say that. Spoiler alert, because we kind of already said it. If you were following the Moon Knight run before this and didn't read the last issue, well, you find out what happened. So, Joe, go ahead.
So I said Mark was killed last issue, so we're going through the funeral now. The Midnight Mission is now run by Reese and Soldier and Fist of Moon Knight's brother, whose name escapes me at the moment. The
Hunter's Moon,
literal black suited Moon Knight.
Yeah,
not this one. And also 8-Ball is now officially part of the Midnight Mission, so he got his dues. But now, and Tigra, and they are trying to hunt down all of Zodiac's people to see where he is. And some of them are out for revenge. Some of them are out to do just right by people that are in the missions thing. And then someone attacks 8-Ball and nearly kills him. And we see it's this version of Moon Knight. And because Khonshu is captured, they think this may be Mark, but Mark may have come back wrong.
Right.
It's a badass outfit. That is a bad outfit.
Yep.
I quote whoever that pimp was.
Yes.
But I do like what they're going
Hunter's
with this.
Moon. I never remember it.
Yeah, Hunter's Moon is the guy thing. But I like the fact that where they're going with this because yes, Khonshu is still indisposed, which means that is where is Mark's mind in this? The whole time he kept on saying he's like who are you? He's like, what are you trying to? He's like, who? It's like you're trying to do my job in my city. And that's all. I was like, is Mark not all the way done yet on the reincarnation thing, or we decided to bring him back at 50%? Either way, we're gonna find out. But this is also one I recommend too. If you did finish the current Moon Knight run, Vengeance of the Moon Knight again seems like it's going to be a great one. I think it's the same writer and artist for this one, didn't it, Joe? For the previous one,
yes. The team carries over to this book.
Yeah, okay.
It's basically just chapter 2 for him.
It's covers like this that just make me want this as a poster.
I think it's because this invokes a little bit of Spawn in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The smoky look and it's just good art. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, Todd McFarlane might want to be like, hey, you're kind of close.
Let him mind his business, okay? Let this man cook.
He can't make up his mind if they're gonna get this movie off the ground or not.
Exactly. Let's focus on one thing at a time.
The cover is done by David Finch.
Yeah.
Okay.
That explains it.
But it's a beautiful cover though. But yeah, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen in the next issue. But I'm sorry, go
ahead. Next up, we got Fall of the House of X. This is written by Jerry Dugan with art by Lucas Wernick. Colors by David Valencia. This is just the start of the next stage in X-Men, so everything's getting ready to go to crap, so everything can get better. Cyclops goes on trial. Wolverine and Colossus start taking down Orchis areas.
Oh, the discussion of fastball. The discussion of fastball.
The inverted fastball.
The inverted fastball.
I think they call it the screwball special because they know they're both screwed afterward.
Yeah.
Kitty's going through different places to rally different mutants since she can use the gates. And Nightcrawler is just normal transportation. I thought this was a good book because Cyclops is willingly putting himself on trial. He pleads no contest despite knowing the consequences, but he's also asking the big question to one of the doctors, the wife of Nimrod. It's like, so what does Omega Sentinel get out of all this after you're done? Because after you win, what happens?
And Omega Sentinel just looks off like.
This is what I can appreciate.
And then Nimrod, this is immediately dealt with by Krakoa himself. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna solidify you in amber. You're not going anywhere, Chief.
What I can appreciate about this particular team up is when you say there's a reason why they were always in this danger room. There's those original teams are the badasses. Like when it's like, all right, you're not bench warmers. But you're the ones that's like, all right, you know what? Y'all need to go in here because this team over here is screwing up. And it was like, we need to call in the A-listers right now so they can kind of clean house. And that's what they do.
Yeah. But this is what I'm looking forward to with Fall of X, which means Fall of the House of X means that eventually it's a Rise House of X. And although we have to say goodbye to Krakoa because mutants can't have nice things. We can't have
fucking planet. But you took Mars. You weren't doing anything with it.
That is kind of American logic. If you think about it, we left y'all's planet alone, terraformed a planet you can't even live on, and y'all still wanted to come where we was at. Sir, we put light years between us, and you still wanted to follow. Just say you want to be us. That's it. Just say it. That's all I ask.
We gave you medicines in the treehouse and that we helped you out.
We cured you. We cured every disease with Krakoan medicine, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, I disagree with everybody. It's a good book. I want to see what Rise of the Powers of 10 is.
Mm-hmm.
But we also snuck a secret book in there, Marvel Meow. This is a collection of all the Marvel Infinite books. This is written by Now Fuji with written and art by Now Fuji. And there, as I was talking about earlier, there you go, Chris. There's your Doom Cat.
Doom Cat. Just
because Dr. Doom was looking at everybody having fun with cats, so he got like 3 cats and made them Dr. Doom.
Doom Cat, a Doom Cat with the cloak and the mask.
Well, the cloak and the mask makes the whole.
He has 3 of them.
It ties the ensemble together.
I can expect. Don't get me wrong. Oh, he's in full armor. Never mind. He's in full freaking armor. Just wow.
And y'all thought squirrels were stupid.
But Doom would probably make it a point.
Well, he actually states he has the 3 Doom Cats to combat the squirrels. Remember, Wolverine does trounce him.
Yeah. Squirrel Girl still haunts him. Still.
Squirrel Girl and Luke won his $200.
If that's not two people that will forever live in Dr. Doom's head, just
rent free.
Yes. He's like, this man really.
He sees him again. He was like, please tell me I paid him. Could you cash app him the money now?
This man really did take the Fantastic Four vehicle over $200. Over $200. I didn't pay him. Yeah, he was serious about his money. He was serious. He should have kind of took him on it. But I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, in all seriousness, this was a really fun, cute book. This was a really fun, cute book. If you're a big cat person, by all means, pick it up. You will not be dissatisfied by this. You also get appearances by Jeff and some of the other animals in the Marvel Universe, like Bats the Ghost Hound, who is getting his own issue, next issue in Doctor Strange. Which this current week's issue of Doctor Strange asks, like, do Strange and Cleo want kids? They talk about it. They both decide no because they see what it's like having a magical baby.
Yeah.
But moving on over, we're ending the night with the new Duke book. This is written by Joshua Williamson with art by Tom Riley and colors by Jordi Belair. This is officially part of the Cybertron universe, as this does take place several months after the events of Transformers 2, where Starscream just goes slap.
Right. Literally. Just
the fallout of this is Duke is still suffering from severe PTSD from that attack, and then we kind of play a bit of the A-Team where Duke is framed by another favorite G.I. Joe villain for a mass murder that he did not commit and is now on run, and Colonel Hawk, and I am unsure if that is Scarlet or Lady J because of the coloring while they were on the chopper.
Scarlet. I'm saying Scarlet.
But we do see that they are enlisting Rock and Roll and Stalker to hunt down Duke.
Yeah. Now, this is interesting because I was kind of on the fence about this. I said, this is how they're going to bring Transformers and G.I. Joe into the same Hasbro universe? Because, that's all I was worried about. But so far, what they've done with this story is made it real subtle. Like, yes, Decepticons are there, but they're not making it the overall focus. And at the same time, I like the fact that you're trying to bring a new spin on Duke. Because, so most of the times they'll go straight to Roadblock or go to Snake Eyes or or Lady J, or oh god, we can keep going down the list of that. But I do like what they did with
It's
this.
mostly either Duke Flint or Lady J.
Yeah, but I'm not complaining about it. Although Flint never really did get his due. That's a whole nother story. Flint never did get his due in G.I. Joe. But no, it's a good read. I do like it. I do like I'll keep up with to see where they go with on this.
They say the next book to time will be the Cobra Commander because Cobra is not officially formed yet in this universe.
Oh, so it's still an underground organization.
It's not even that. Like Cobra Command, it's going to start with the origins of Cobra Commanders the next issue, because what they're doing is they're running Duke and Cobra Commander parallel, and then they'll meet up into G.I. Joe.
Okay. Which makes me wonder where they're going with this, but no, I dig it. I'll keep up with this one because I have to catch up on a lot of other reads. I have so much on my pull list I need to catch up on. But I'll add it to this list.
I think this was a fun read. I like the subtle tie into G.I. Joe. I like that they're like, no, aliens are out there. They are giant robots. They are on Earth. We need to stop them. And Hawk's like, we're handling it, but we got to do it quietly.
Hey,
people are idiots.
At least he didn't pull a Bumblebee. They literally call themselves Decepticons. How does that not pull up any red flags?
But, still the best line in the entire franchise.
But no,
that's all I got. It was a very brief comic book week this week.
Okay. Well, with that being said, guys, as we're going to wrap this up, we definitely want to go around. And of course, I always say shameless plugging as usual. So I will wait. Well, Kira's not back yet. So let me know.
I'm sorry. I'm just in a different room. It's going to sound really echoey.
Okay. Well, Kira, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, hi. Shameless plug. I am Lady Mandalore. I also go by the name Roomful of Blurs. You can find me on Instagram at Roomful of Blurs. Instagram, TikTok, and moderately Twitter. I'm also a co-host with Chris Fury. Got my immediate wherever he is. I also have a podcast that I do live on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This weekend, I will actually be starting my list for my comic book club. So if you'd like to join and see what we're reading, it's probably going to be more about the origin arcs for characters or just like major arcs in comic book series. I'd love to have you join. We can read along and discuss and learn together. Yay!
As always, that's always fun. And
I'll be a part of that.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll all be a part of that. I just want because I just want to see Kira reading a British accent. That's always fun.
Oh, it depends on what. I'm better at. I'm not good with my Cockney. Cockney is not my strength.
Okay, so that means we will not be reading John Constantine. Got it.
No.
There shall be no Hellblazer.
No. Oh God, I can hear myself trying to do it, and it sounds terrible.
God Almighty. Oh, Captain, my Captain, go ahead, sir.
Everybody, is the man on the wall, Chris Fury. You can catch Blur's Eye View live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. on YouTube, Twitch, IG. Once I can get over the echo thing. You can check us out on Always Press Record. Go to the YouTube channel as well and hit that subscription button and notification bell. Okay. Yeah. And also Always Press Record. You can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast. You can follow us at right there. There it is. That right there. Blur's Eye View on IG. You can also listen to myself and Kira, which is my second in command, my Zoe Washburn to my Malcolm Reynolds, on Talk Story to Me. And on Midnight Comics audio dramas. So we are doing our thing, doing voices and having fun and talking to dope guests on Blur's Eye View and whoop-de-doo, all that great stuff.
Oh, I love the humbleness of the director of voice acting for the next thing I'm going to be talking about very soon. As Tafari with the shots, he says Kira was handling her neglected New Year's laundry. Damn. Also, check out Tafari. Check out the man behind the curtain, Tafari TV, also on social media, because that man definitely is the hardest working man on this side of the net. So definitely check him out, Tafari TV, on all the socials. Joe, what do you want people to know what you're doing?
Okay, I have to preface this first. I am playing that new Grandozer game. I did actually get it. I learned it very quickly and had to remind myself this is the 70s I'm dealing with. So, and the reason why I preface this is the first guy I come up to, his name is General Blackie, Blaki. And of course, as soon as he's like, please don't be a black alien, please don't be a black alien. And of course, I'm like, and he is. And I'm like,
you can't
I have to put a filter through this because it's the 70s and unintentional Japanese racism. There's nothing I can do about it.
Just look at
I
the flowers.
I even tried getting out of this. Like, maybe this is like Dragon Ball Z abridged, where it's just pronounced Blackie. Mm-hmm. And then I forget. No, there's voice acting. General Blackie, sir. It's like, God damn it.
Oh, it's like it's like John Big Booty. It's like, no, it's Big Booty. It's Big Booty. It's French.
Booty, not booty. It's poor. We love you. We love you, sir. We do love you. I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
All joking aside with that thing, and
hey, Laura.
No,
hey,
seriously.
Laura.
Hey, Laura. All joking aside, no, it's still the 70s. The voice acting is pretty good. The game is actually very fun. It gives you a very good scope of being a giant super robo. Kind of Dark Souls-ish. You got to do a lot of the dodge rolling thing, and enemy bosses are very pattern inducing, and you definitely got to get out of the way. I'm having a lot of fun with it. First episode's already out on the Twitch, which is Joe Italian last name. It's about an hour and 30 minutes per level, I believe. I've already unlocked some fun things there. It's fine. If not, I'm going to be hunting on Monster Hunter Rise again every so often. It's just I'm learning a new work schedule, so when I come home, I'll eat and then immediately tip over.
Damn.
For about an hour and a half.
Not immediately. Not immediately tip over.
I mean, I went from 8 to 4:30 to waking up at 6 in the morning to be there by 7 to 3:30, 7 to 4:30 volume demands. But I mean that's not too big of a change.
Yeah.
But it's still I'm doing a lot more than I usually do now because of everything going on. So I am just a wee bit worn out.
Understandable. As Laura is laughing her ass off, but
she's probably laughing. It's like he does not know woes. It's like, no, I really don't. As for the YouTube, I guess what we're doing right now is what's happening on YouTube because StreamYard lets me stream to my YouTube page as well.
Yeah, you can stream to everybody can stream to their own podcast. Oh, to their own avenues.
Platform. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I can update, put a better cover photo, and put out some tags, and we can get additional views and whatnot.
Oh,
so yay! More viewership.
We would love.
This also means that my subscribers are probably going to go down because they usually look into my thing for like buddy fight or card fight stuff. So, he's not playing card games anymore. Unsubscribe.
Until you sit there and go back on Street Fighter and decide to wear people out again. But
no, I'm only in A2, and I am getting so tired of everybody in the Street Fighter community wanting Akuma. That old man you're going to do one thing playing Akuma. You're going to be a really old man getting throw looped by Ken. Still.
That's very true. But with that being said, guys, before I do my shameless plugging, I always want to give thanks for everybody that shares our stuff. So again, to Tafari TV, to Brian Beeline Entertainment, because you guys, I see you guys share the podcast. I certainly appreciate it. Also, shout out to Vaughn at Big BZA Doc for sharing as well. You can definitely find him as he definitely does beats. He does beats for songs, for podcasts, things of that nature. You can definitely check him out at Big BZA Doc on all social media. And Tafari, put Azura in the game, you cowards. Yep, sounds about right. Sounds about right. But before I get to myself and my ending, again, me, Kira, and Chris and others are part of a conglomerate. And that's one thing I want to bring to you guys today is the fact of, are you tired of Netflix? Are you tired of Amazon Prime? Are you tired of Hulu? Adding and dropping your favorite shows, but most importantly, as of late, increasing prices, because now you got to decide between groceries and your subscriptions. Well, there is a new media out there that we love to promote because we believe in it, we're behind it. At the same time, we want you to enjoy it as well. What am I talking about? I am talking about BlurredStation.com. As you can see, guys, they have crowned themselves a new Netflix, but I think they're better than Netflix because why? You don't feel like you're screwed over like you do with Netflix. You feel welcomed at Blurred Station because they have exactly what you need. They have entertainment. They have anime. They have comics. They have shows like Issue 1 where Hellspawn Cosplay tries to help comic creators get their first issue published. They have other things like Blood Emblem, Undead Horizon. They have a young lady who is amazing, by the way. I mean, freaking amazing with the special effects makeup that she does. And she's under 10. You know what I was doing when I was under 10?
6 years old.
6 years old and doing the work of masters. You know what I was doing at 6 years old? Jumping off coffee tables watching wrestling. That's my achievement in life. She's doing way better than me at 6. But anyway, if you do want to check out Blurred Station, guys, again, go to blurredstation.com. Definitely go to the Join Now button, as I'll show you guys here. Once you're here, if you'll be ever so kind to go to the Blurred's Eye View Affinity membership, as you see there, under Affinity Influence Partner, you can select any of us there. You can select Chris at Chris Fury, Kira at Roomful of Blurs, Will be watching Mayhem Media, myself, Black Spartan, Safari at Safari TV, Navy at Navy Montel, BlurryCon. Also check out BlurryCon Speaks as well. And also check out our other friend, our Gria Horrorlania at Geek by Heart, also on socials as well. You can select anybody there. We all appreciate it. Now, you're probably wondering about the Affinity membership. It's $10.99. Yes, Blurred Station is $10.99 a month, which basically means, guys, you can still get Blurred Station and get food. I don't know about you. I like to eat when I watch television. I don't want to starve while watching Iron Chef or Hell's Kitchen. That's just me. But at the same time, guys, you can definitely sign up for $10.99 a month. You're probably wondering about the Affinity membership. Again, with the Affinity membership, have you ever wondered if you could own a part of a conglomerate like Netflix or Amazon or Hulu? Do you really want to jump through all the unnecessary hell of going to a spot like E-Trade or Fidelity Investments or mutual funds and basically getting the money up to basically own one share of the company and still feel like you're screwed over? Well, it's different at Blurred Station because for 36 months at paying $10.99 a month, you will have the ability to own a piece of Blurred Station. Now, I don't know about you, but paying $10.99 a month for 36 months seems a hell of a lot easier than trying to put up $10,000 to $12,000 of Apple stock for one share. That's just me. But definitely check out Blurred Station because, again, it is a movement. We are behind it. It's unified. It's great. It is for everyone of people of color and for those of the Blurred community, as Kira and Chris will say, because, well, Chris is the director of voice acting there. And Kira is, I'm going to start calling her famous Kira since she pulled people. Yes, I'm going to start calling you.
I'm also going to be voicing possibly 2 characters on Robo Lobo.
Go ahead.
So
you can say
Robo Lobo. I will possibly be voicing 2 characters. Definitely 1, possibly 2.
Nice. But like I said, guys, it's all about us. As far as us being together, it's not just that at Blurred Station, but again, it's about unity. Now, as for myself, guys, you usually can find me Black Fox 447 on all the socials. I usually do reviews on everything that I read, that I play, even gym stuff. I do a couple push-ups. The link at the bottom, guys, if you make that a little bit bigger for you guys to see, because we definitely want you to copy and paste that link in your browser. We'll take you to our link tree. That's YouTube and Facebook groups for all of our podcasts. How the Frack We Got Here, Get Bitten Off Influence podcast. Of course, How the Frack We Got Here is my political podcast every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We usually cover it with replays on Saturday, which we do cover all the craziness that is the current news events in our world. And I, like I said, encourage you people to get involved. Get involved. Learn about what's going on, because you definitely, once you start learning about all the stuff that goes on, not just inside of Congress, but also out in your local cities, hopefully it'll get you involved. It'll make you active. That's what I hope. And of course, Get Bit, as you can see here with me and Joe and various guests, we do also go over the news of the week, and our replays will happen on Saturday as well. Also, guys, our shows can be found wherever podcasts can be seen. Google Podcasts, Apple. Once I give Joe what he needs for that, I keep forgetting. But every place else where podcasts can be seen or heard, you can definitely find us there. But that being said, who commented? I'm sorry. Oh, somebody said facts. Yes, facts. I'm not sorry, Laura. I was kind of talking, so I'm
Tafari said to put on.
Oh, Tafari said he had his own game.
So Tafari said to put a Shuri in the Street Fighter game. So I said he had his own Street Fighter tie-in in his own game. Let that man rest. He's doing his best.
Tafari, you might just come on here and just go ahead and go into a rant, sir. That's what I'm gonna have you do, because bump your friend next door. He does beats, and that's some fire. I'm sorry. If you go listen to that on a daily basis, you can't do nothing but dance, but I digress. But that being said, guys, as we wrap it up, as again, the replays for How the Freckle Got Here and Get Bit will be tomorrow, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel across the interwebs. And before we wrap it up, guys, anything that you want to say or interject before we call it a night?
Don't have an unusual alliance to losers, and you'll be fine.
Also, F the algorithm.
I do not recommend eating. I do not recommend eating 50 pan-seared dumplings in the name of honor.
Joe, quickly tell Kira what you did before we wrap it up.
So, me and my API friends went for a New Year's party at Steam Boys over in Germantown. Steam Boys is a dumpling place. At the start of the meal, which was all you can eat Tuesday night, which they lost money on, it's because there was 15 of us for $20 a person. We ate 460 dumplings. There's a lot of Asian people in this group, by the way. It's all Asian people. So at the start of the dinner, they tell us the most anyone's ever eaten is 40 at 5 plates. Me being me goes, I will take up that challenge. And I did.
Why?
So I ate 50 dumplings.
Pride.
I ate 50 dumplings. No, why? It wasn't pride. I already said it. I ate 50 dumplings in the name of honor.
I just feel like, what did it cost? What did it cost?
Which part of your lower intestines? Good Jesus.
Here, I was going to go get dumplings tomorrow.
I wish I could get dumplings tomorrow. I'm going to go have some hamburgers, but
so anyway,
all
it cost me was like most of my night's sleep that night. I only slept for like 3 hours, can only sleep sitting up on the couch.
Yeah.
Because it's going to come back up any minute.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh Lord. Well, thank you for that, Joe. As we wrap this up, guys, as we usually say here at Get Bit, we are all about fandoms. Yes, we love them, we treasure them, we want to share them with people, but we always sit there and say this best. We are not toxic gatekeepers. We are not going to put down people because their tastes are different than ours. We love, we share, we unify, and most importantly, have fun and don't be a dick about it. Aside from that, guys, again, thank you all for watching. I've been Will. That's been Joe. That's been Kira. That's been Chris. And see you out there. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll all get through this. Peace.
The maximum amount of dumplings